This video will demonstrate how to connect to and reconfigure a Subsea display system. The following items will be required: an RS-232 to USB adapter and an STS to 9-way D cable. Ensure the RS-232 adapter is plugged in and installed correctly, then identify the assigned COM port. To do this, access Device Manager, then open the Ports section. This COM number will be required for establishing communications with the terminal application. Older Windows machines have Hyperterminal installed as standard. PuTTY is a free alternative and will be used throughout this demonstration. Select Serial and change the COM number to the one identified in Device Manager. Enter the baud rate as a whole number. The default baud rate for an STS is 19.2K. If this has been changed, it is identifiable on the STS startup sequence after the battery voltage has been displayed. No other settings should require changing. The session can be saved for future use before opening. Once the startup sequence has completed, the configuration interface can be accessed with the displayed keystrokes. Once the interface has loaded, log in with the user password to carry out any changes. This STS is currently in demo mode, meaning it shows a fixed number on each display rather than the live readings. Issuing the normal command will clear this. The reset command will remove all user scale settings. This should be done before carrying out a new calibration of the STS. Each STS will be supplied with a user manual. This manual contains calibration procedures for both the analog and counter inputs. The Quick Start Guide at the front of the manual provides details such as the STS specification, the pinouts of each connector, internal link settings, and a basic fault finding table. Here we can see the calibration method for the strain gauge input. This input is commonly used for a torque sensor but can be configured for any sensor up to a maximum sensitivity of 10 mV per volt. The procedure involves having some form of external measurement equipment such as a torque verification system. By applying a load and using the value read by the external equipment, a user FSD value can be determined using the formula shown here. The new user FSD is entered using the PFS command. This command should always include a polarity sign followed by 4 digits and a decimal point. The setting being entered here is for a Jupiter class 1 to 4 torque tool with a maximum output of 2711 Nm at approximately 0.8 mV per volt. As the 0 point of a sensor can shift, especially under pressure, there are options to add a tare value. This can be done with the command tare, or more commonly, using the right-hand magnetic switch on the STS display. When using the display switch, both the counter and analog input will be zeroed. As with the analog input, there is also a calibration procedure for the counter inputs. With the likes of a torque tool, the pulses per turn is usually known and can therefore be configured without any prior testing. If the value is unknown, follow the procedure to determine the required settings. Again, we are adding the settings for a Jupiter class 1 to 4 torque tool which outputs 18 pulses per turn on a single wire. As such, the counter needs to be set to input 1 only using the set I1C command. Next, the numerator is configured. The formatting of this defines the number of decimal places shown on the display. The denominator is set to the number of pulses per turn. This command is always followed by 4 whole digits. The manual contains a list of all the available commands, including some brief descriptions. The counters have a power supply configurable for 5 or 10 volts, and will need turning on after a reset command has been issued. Using the command sense power 5V will turn on the power supply when the display is alive. If the counter is required to continue counting when the display switches off due to no illumination, the sense power const command will ensure the sensor supply stays on. This concludes the overview of configuring a Subsea display system. For any further assistance, please check our website or contact the support team on the email address and phone number provided. Other demonstration videos can be accessed via the links below.